Hypothetically, this is a podcast you're listening to that you hypothetically stumbled upon because you hypothetically had nothing else better to do. It's me, Positively Perky Paisley.
And me, Legendary Limitless Lachlan.
And you are listening to Hypothetically. Alright, so, how's Tricks?
Yeah, it's been going good. I am kind of tired, honestly. The past few days have been it's just been a few days, you know.
Yeah.
It's been one of those weeks where it's just been a couple of days. Yesterday was fun. Our mom wanted us out of the house for a few hours, so instead of going to the movies like normal people, we took our younger brother, and we went to look at antique stores.
Yeah, baby. As we should.
Honestly, it was a great time. I found these really old coins, and I was just like, oh, yes. Yeah. And so I got them. I have my own little coin collection already, so I went ahead and got some to add to it. So yeah.
I kind of want to hit some of the antique stores in Nacogdoches.
Dude, that'd be great.
Because it's the oldest town in Texas, so you know they got old stuff.
Oh, they got history over there.
Yeah.
They got history.
History. All
right. So now that we've doxed ourselves and the state that we live in,
well, we didn't say that we live there. I just said that it was the oldest city in Texas. You just doxed us.
No, I didn't. No, I shut up.
Okay.
Listen, all right. I got nothing else to say.
You've convinced me.
Oh no. We did this today though when we were at church. After our Bible study, all our small group was like, hey, let's have breakfast at lunchtime. So at 12 o'clock, we filed out of our room, very single filed and totally not normally. And we started getting ready. We were getting stuff out to make pancakes and bacon, hash browns, and eggs and all this. And it was going to be
blueberry
pancakes, chocolate pancakes. Chip. Fantastic stuff. All right, homemade, just the best.
All the stuff.
We got all stuff. Our Bible study leader was so excited that he forgot the syrup and butter and just came with the.
We had to buy more.
Yeah, we had to get more stuff. So we were doing all this. It was going fantastically. Although the girls in our class were helping reorganize and everything in the room, while me and the boys were cooking the stuff. I was on bacon duty. Yeah, I was on bacon duty. That bacon, listen, we thought that we were going to get done at 12:30 with the cooking and then just have fun till 2:30. But we cooked till 2 and ate the rest of the 30 minutes.
Yep. And then cleaned after.
And then cleaned after. Yeah. And then came home and did this because we missed a day. Well, don't let them know that. Oh, too late.
Well, yeah, okay.
Yeah, you know we do no editing whatsoever.
Oh gosh, that'd be horrible.
We've never edited anything before. All the sound effects we do live in person.
Yeah, just out of our own vocal cords.
Out of our own vocal cords even, yeah.
Yeah.
So how's Tricks?
Tricks is good.
Pretty much the same, actually.
A little bit, yeah, I guess pretty much the same. School. That's a thing.
Real.
Yeah. I ain't got much else to say. You kind of explained it all for me, but
yeah. Sorry. I mean,
I'm not mad. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All right, on to our next segment.
Hold on, wait a second. I wasn't done. Well, one last thing. I got to spend a lot of time with my girlfriend because this was her birthday week. So
that's nice.
So 2 days ago was her birthday, and so we celebrated it twice, basically. We had 2 different days. We had dinner 2 days ago, and I had dinner with her parents out at Cheddar's yesterday. So yeah. And then we hung out after that.
Very nice.
Fantastic stuff.
All right.
And I'll see you again tonight.
Now on to our next segment. Our Hypothetically segment.
Yes.
I'm going to go first because I already have my question prepared.
Please enlighten me.
All right. Hypothetically, you commit a crime.
Oh.
And hypothetically, nobody suspects you. However, you are part of the jury because they have a suspect in custody right now. He is about to get convicted of this crime. You are a part of the jury. Hypothetically, they are about to convict this innocent man. Do you stay silent or confess?
Hmm.
And I'm talking like life in prison type
Life
crime.
in prison.
Level type crime. Because you're on the jury. You have, hypothetically, the ability to send this guy to jail for the rest of his life. Or do you confess to the crime and let an innocent man walk free?
Well, hypothetically, if I'm a part of this jury, as you say, I would hypothetically, I would uncover myself as the bailiff in this thing. Actually, no, not the. I'm the judge of this jury. Is what's happening. I'm the judge. I sentence this man to 10 life sentences.
You're not the judge. You're in the jury.
Hypothetically.
That's not the hypothetical part.
Fine. Okay. Fine. Hypothetically, I'm in the jury, but I work at the prison this man is going to. So once he gets his sentence, I go to the prison. All right. I am watching over this dude. Okay. All right. I make sure that he is going away for a long, long time for committing my crime. I reveal myself to him as the person who did the crime because he knows he's innocent. And what I do is I infect this man's life with me, basically. I go up to him once he's in there and I confess everything to him. I did the crime. I committed it. And when he tries to tell people, they think he's absolutely crazy. No one can take his word for it. And I just make his life just terrible. For him being in prison for my wrongdoing. Technically, I'm also in prison, but I work here, so it's different. In a really weird roundabout way, we're both serving our time, but listen. Even though he's innocent, he's done nothing wrong, I make this whole thing about him serving the time I was due. I make him so incredibly just mad that he drives himself insane. He drives him insane. He thinks he's crazy when he actually does become crazy. And so he... Hold on.
Where is this going?
It's coalescing. It's going somewhere, okay? So now that he has all of this rage built up within his soul, he finds a way to break out of his cell at night. And he comes to me, right to my office, because I work the night shift. And he stands over me with my gun in his hand, and he kills me. But this actually makes him guilty in the end.
It sounds like a Walmart version of Shawshank.
No, it does not.
This is like the worst bootleg.
The worst bootleg
of Shawshank Redemption.
No, this is an original idea thought by yours truly, okay? This man, it's poetry. This man who is innocent.
Then I guess I just don't understand poetry, because this
you don't understand
horrible.
Poetry. He gets justice, but in some really weird roundabout way.
Backrooms way.
In this weird backrooms roundabout way, he is now guilty. I turned an innocent man guilty by being the guilty one.
That is insane.
Poetry, right?
Sure.
Really dark poetry.
I mean, for me, hypothetically,
yeah,
I'd probably just confess. Because what you said seemed too complicated.
That's boring.
I would not go through all of that trouble. Because if I committed a crime, yeah, I'll own up to it. Especially if it was, like, really cool. Like,
really cool crime.
I'm not saying that, like, a life in prison sentence thing would be really cool. Like, hopefully it didn't hurt anybody. But, you know what I'm saying. I don't know. I think having prison buddies would be kind of cool.
Yeah, no. See,
or I just know nothing about prison.
Yeah, all your knowledge comes from Shawshank Redemption.
It's probably the latter.
The latter.
Which is what I'm leaning towards.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, now, what is your hypothetical question? Okay, hold on. I really want carrots right now. I'm gonna go off, like, while you think of yours, I'm just gonna go off on a tangent, okay?
Okay.
Carrots, specifically baby carrots, okay? They're children of carrots, okay? We all know that children are sweeter than adults. Now, stick with me here on this one. Stick with me on this one, okay? Children, they're nicer, they're kinder, they're more open-minded, they're funnier than adults. Adults are bitter, and they are crunchy. Whilst baby carrots, they're soft, they're nice, they're sweet, and they make you feel good inside your heart, and they're not dirty, they're clean. Unlike adult carrots. I'm just saying, baby carrots sound really, really good right now. With some ranch, are you kidding me? I'm floored. I am in awe of baby carrots.
I prefer mine with cream cheese, but go ahead.
Well, how about you shut up and think of your hypothetical question? This is my tangent, okay? Carrots are good for your eyesight. They're good for the soul. They're good because they taste. They taste.
They taste. I can confirm they taste.
Now, every once in a while, you'll get a bitter one. You'll get a flimsy one, and it's very similar with children. You'll get a bitter one. You'll get one that's kind of got an attitude, right? But a majority of the children, I mean the baby carrots, they're sweet. They're nice, delectable. This is sounding really, really weird. Please don't come after me. This is all jokes. I'm not serious.
I'm gonna have to put another disclaimer on this one.
Probably.
I would hope so.
But bottom line is, baby carrots are awesome.
Okay.
And I really want baby carrots right now.
Is it the moral of your story?
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy. Honestly, when you were talking about that, I was having trouble focusing on my hypothetically question.
Don't worry, I'll give you another one. You focus
No.
on your question.
No. I got it now.
Okay.
All right. Hypothetically, if you were in the Marvel universe, which Marvel character would you want to save you from like this thing that's happening? Who would you want to be saved by?
I don't know. I feel like you have quite a few options.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it would be cool to get saved by Iron Man.
Yeah.
Solely because he can fly. And he's like a gazillionaire, philanthropist, whatever he calls himself. I can't even say it. He's too rich for me to say it. That's the issue. I can't do it, man. I feel like it'd be cool to get saved by Iron Man. Now, oh man, I just thought, if it wasn't strictly Marvel, then I'd probably want to get saved by Batman. But Iron Man or Spider-Man, probably. One of the two. I'm kind of leaning more towards Iron Man, though. I know that's kind of a basic answer, but I don't know. It just seems cool.
Yeah.
What about you?
Personally, Doctor Strange, 100%. He is.
Oh, yeah.
I stand by this. He is my favorite Marvel character, just because, bro, he's cool, dude. Like, I mean, that's just it.
Yeah.
He's cool. I mean, if I was also going to, like, other than Doctor Strange, probably Rocket.
Rocket?
Rocket, yeah.
Like the Galaxy Guardian?
Yeah, he's in the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
What do you mean? You wouldn't want to be saved by a raccoon with a gun?
I don't want to be saved by a raccoon that's voiced by Bradley Cooper.
Oh, come on.
I'm sorry.
What? I thought you loved Rocket.
I love Rocket, but I don't know. I don't know
is
about
it just Bradley Cooper.
Yeah. I don't know what it is about Bradley Cooper. He's a great actor. Love his stuff. Don't know what it is about him though. I can't pinpoint it, but he makes me. I don't know.
You have this whole thing against Bradley Cooper.
Him and Will Smith, man. I can't stand Will Smith, but with Bradley Cooper, it's not like I hate the guy. I like his stuff. His movies are great. I have a weird thing about Bradley Cooper.
Is it his eyes?
No. Maybe his teeth.
Maybe his teeth.
I have the same thing with Glenn Powell. This is my soapbox moment for this episode. Glenn Powell has too many teeth and they're all the same size. His eyes are too close together and he's got a pointy nose that people, you know what? If you think that he's attractive, you think that he's cute, fine. If you think he's a great actor, I think he's a decent actor. I do not like the way he looks. His look makes me uncomfortable and it makes me want to cry.
Oh.
Not really. But I can't stand Glenn Powell's face. Bottom line.
Sweet.
Alright, moving on.
We stumbled into wheel territory there.
Yes. Okay, now, it's time for our comedy segment. Okay, so, this time, I want you to take as much creative liberty as you possibly can.
Oh, alright.
Okay? Close your eyes.
What are we doing?
Alright, I'm about to explain it to you, but I really need you to think about it, okay?
Okay, my eyes are closed 100%. Don't want to fact check me on this. You can't see me anyway, so...
Alright. His eyes are closed. Verification. But I could be lying. Anyway, so I want you to give me a very in-depth, detailed description of your craziest superhero or supervillain origin story. But for you specifically.
For me specifically?
Tell your origin story, and as you go progressively, you will decide whether you want to be a superhero or a supervillain.
So, just off the cuff, or can this be premeditated?
No.
No?
If you want it to be premeditated, it can.
Like a character that I've kind of thought of before, in a way?
If you want, but it has to be original.
It will be original.
It can be off the cuff. It can be something that you premeditated before. Doesn't matter. Just an original origin story that is insane, but make it funny.
All right.
Knowing you, it most likely will be. You may begin when ready.
All right. This is the origin story of the superhero who doesn't know he's a superhero. His name is Forget-Me-Not. Here we have our young protagonist. Okay, as I say young, more about like 25, 30 years old, somewhere around that range. It's a little complicated. I've only seen the redacted pages of his file in the government agency that he worked for. See, he worked for this government agency who we didn't actually know he was working for. He was working in an office that was really a cover. You know, it was a whole crazy underground stuff that was happening, science experiments, the works. You know, he stumbles upon this place at one point just during his work. He like finds his elevator or whatever, goes down. He sees a floor he presses a button, opens a door to another button, presses it down to the fourth basement. Finds all this lab equipment, crazy stuff, dials blinking on the walls, weird like electricity things, vats of goo, all this kind of crazy stuff. And he comes across what it looks like a brain, kind of. It's a scale model in a way. Maybe either that or it's kind of like suspended in this. I don't know. He doesn't know what this is about, and it's hooked up to this computer. And so his interest is piqued. He goes over to this computer. And as he doesn't even reach out to it or anything. He just walks over, accidentally steps on this little button on the floor, and then boom, sparks come off of the brain, whatever computer, voltage spewing everywhere. The lights start going out, blinking everywhere. That he is electrocuted by this computer brain, and he wakes up in his office. He blacks out, wakes up in his office, thinks he dreamt the whole thing. Then he goes back home. And at his house that night, where he thinks he's gonna come back to his house with his wife, he's gonna meet her there. He goes in there, and there is a whole bunch of U.S. military there. They interrogate him. They want to know why he was down there. They're taking him. They're waiting to ambush him. All right, they take him. They bag his head. Get in the car. They drive away. Then while he's in the back of this truck, right before they move the bag, he wakes up again in his house. Barely even processes that this happened. He goes throughout several years of his life where he thinks he's being kidnapped over and over again, and he just wakes up in his house, and it's always a different day. It's always the next day. He is losing hours and hours of his life due to this. But what he doesn't know is that when he was shocked by this brain, he gained the ability to give people amnesia. Okay, he can make people forget the last hour through 2 hours, 3 hours of their life. The thing is that when he does this, he also forgets the last 3 hours of his life. So he is never aware that he has this power throughout his entire life. He just thinks he's going insane. He has early onset dementia, whatever. He seeks help. But every time he uses the power, something crazy happens where these people come. They try to get it because he did this thing. He walked into this place. But every time he gets captured, he accidentally uses the power, and that makes everyone forget what they're doing or why they're there, who this guy is. As this happens, he eventually finds his way home because he's terrified, and then the amnesia sets in. He wakes up not knowing how he got there, whatever happened. All of this happens, and he goes his entire life not knowing what he has done. He actually, in fact, saved thousands of lives. The several people that came to him were from several different secret organizations around the world people who are like plotting top secret destruction plans. Like we're talking world annihilation here, and he has saved thousands of lives, or like millions of lives even. All right, by just making people forget their commands. He made like the leader of some secret government operative in Europe or something. He was gonna blow a hole through the Earth's crust, and he was gonna put a black hole through the center of the Earth that would kill everything. But he made him forget about his plan. But he goes his entire life. Eventually, does die of dementia because once you get amnesia that many times, you start to actually just start forgetting things. And so, he goes his entire life not knowing that he had this power and not even knowing how many millions of lives he saved.
What about that was funny?
I didn't say it had to be funny. The funny is the irony of his power. That's the funny. Is because his power is way too ironic.
Profound.
Yes, profound, yeah. I forgot this was a comedy podcast for a second.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I was halfway through, I was like, okay, this is interesting, but where's the funny coming in?
The funny is that he forgets that he has the power.
Alright, I'll roll with that.
That's the funny.
Alright.
Honestly, I was having a blast with that. That was hilarious. That was
I could tell based on, just everything that was happening. Alright, my turn. Where to start? You got it.
You got it?
Yes.
Are your eyes closed? There you go.
Long ago, in the trees of Narnia. Stay with me on this. This is serious, okay? Stay with me on this.
Hypothetically.
But also comedy. But hypothetically, in the trees of Narnia, specifically the trees that are kind of close to the beach, but they're not on the sand because trees can't grow in the sand unless they're palm trees. But that's a different story. A leaf falls and hits. The wind carries it all the way into the oceans of Narnia. Alright? Little did they know, Aslan had just kind of been walking around, and this leaf comes in contact with a grain of sand that Aslan stepped on. Alright? And from this leaf is born Gilbert. Hey, this is serious. Stay with me.
I'm with you. I'm with you 100%.
And Gilbert kind of just goes. He's a humanoid-looking character. Okay, just stick with me on this, okay? But he's like 7 inches tall.
Oh.
But his arms are like a foot long each. Stick with me on this, okay? Now, Gilbert. This lovely, lovely little Gilbert, he gets really, really good at shooting firearms. He finds this random wardrobe, okay? And he's like, alright, I'm gonna go through this. Bam, we're in London, England, okay? So you just see this 7-inch, 2-foot wingspan with an AK-47 and a pistol. Just walking around like the subways of London. Obviously, he tries to get arrested.
He tries to get arrested?
He gets himself arrested. But they don't have cells small enough, so he keeps, like, scurrying around. He can't fit through most places because of his arms, though. So he kind of has to maneuver his way through. Now listen, stick with me on this.
I'm with you. I've been with you.
Okay.
I'm staying.
Listeners, stick with me on this. He eventually gets arrested so many times that he's like, alright, I need to make a change. I need to be more sneaky with what I'm doing. So he invented a special AK-47 that is just his 2-foot wingspan size. And he's able to climb really, really well because he's born from a tree. He's a little green guy. I probably should have specified that. He's a little
I was thinking like
guy.
An orange, like dead leaf kind of thing. Thank you for clarifying.
He's like a little green guy. He's got like dead beady eyes, okay? Like they're like, he looks a little weird. Hey, he has no ears though. He's completely bald. No ears, like no. I probably should have been a little more descriptive. Anyway, he's really good at climbing. So what he'll do is he spends his days terrorizing all of London. Because he'll climb, and then he'll jump, and then just start shooting the ground. Now, at this point, it's a tiny AK-47. So it's gonna feel about like somebody throwing a pebble at you. So he's not really evil. He is kind of evil based on just kind of his ideals, but he's not doing any real damage. He's just a nuisance. But in his mind, he is like, he's got 1,000 and counting kills.
Oh.
Because if every hit he counts as a kill, even though it's like just a tiny little disruption.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not all. Okay? He eventually gets bored. He's like, okay, I'm not doing any damage here. Okay? I need to up the game. So he sneaks into a nuclear physicist's office. How we get here, we have no idea. He does his own thing. We just cut to, he's in a nuclear physicist's office, and he's waiting there, in the nuclear physicist's chair. Now, this nuclear physicist, we'll call him Socks. Just because he kind of looks like a sock. Like, if you've ever seen a sock puppet, that's about how this guy looks. But like a human sock puppet. Alright, stick with me though. So Gilbert is just waiting in his chair, then he turns, and then what's his face called?
Socks?
Socks! That's it, I forgot. Then Socks walks in, and Gilbert turns around, stroking a giant cat.
Oh.
But his arms are so long, and he's so tiny that all you see is just his arms. You don't see him, and finally he like pushes the cat off.
Wait, Gilbert is stroking the cat,
Yes.
or Socks?
Gilbert is stroking the cat because he snuck into the nuclear physicist's office.
Okay.
Socks walks in and is like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" And Gilbert is like,
It's time for you to see that what I am doing is so much more important than what you're doing.
and Gilbert just kind of continues with like these. He speaks in riddles. I forgot to say. He speaks in riddles. You don't really understand what he's talking about. It's good. It's good substance. You know what I'm saying? Finally, Gilbert says to Socks,
Show me to the nuclear bombs.
and Socks is like, "What? No, I'm not." And then Gilbert attacks his face. Now, and based on, he like kind of crawls through his head and is now like controlling Socks. But listen, he finally is like,
Okay, this is like not good. This is not a vibe.
So he goes to the nuclear physicist's room, the place with all like the bombs and stuff. Hops out of Socks' face. Socks is still standing there because he's conscious through this whole thing, but he just can't really do anything. Anyway, so Gilbert jumps onto the nuclear bomb, and with his telepathic abilities, he takes this nuclear bomb up into outer space. Now stick with me on this. And he says to himself,
I am going to rule specifically the sun, which, as we all know, is a water bottle that was kissed by a sea turtle named Kevin.
It's coming full circle. Kevin is a part of Gilbert's origin story.
Oh no.
Eventually, he rules the sun, or water bottle, however you would like to look at it, and he throws this nuclear bomb at the sun.
No.
Now, you may be thinking, oh no, that's not good, and you'd be right. But, since space is a vacuum, it just makes the sun green.
What?
I don't make the rules. Gilbert just decided,
No, I want it to be green.
so it becomes green. And then he goes back down to Earth and then resorts back to his tiny AK-47 and like pelting people with tiny bullets. But while he was in space, he got some of that radiation poisoning, so now he's like extremely fast. So he goes all over just pelting people with tiny little pebbles. And that's how he spends most of his days, as Gilbert, the tiny terrorist. The end.
Tiny terrorist. Man. No.
You're welcome for all that.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Last minute note. Everyone knows that the sun is a flaming hot Cheeto.
No.
Everyone knows it.
No.
Alright. Even Gilbert knows it.
Gilbert doesn't know it because it's a water. He went to space and it is a water bottle that was kissed by Kevin.
In your dreams.
You know what? Fine. Doesn't matter.
That was golden,
Thank you.
honestly.
Thank
I really enjoyed that.
Don't thank me, thank Gilbert. He's the one who made it all happen.
Well, thank you, Gilbert.
You're welcome.
I do have one question, though.
Uh-huh.
So, if Gilbert was created from the footstep of Aslan, and
No.
no,
He was created by a grain of sand that was stepped on by Aslan, but he came from a tree.
that's same thing. That's what I meant. Why did he become a villain?
Because he was never taught right.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Villain
that
origin story.
That checks out. That checks out.
And you want to know the funniest thing?
Oh, what
Is
could be
my
funnier?
total intention was for him to become a superhero. And as I kept talking, it ended up not going that way.
That might very well be the best villain origin story, because I feel like a lot of villains were meant to be heroes.
That's profound, man.
Mm.
All right. Are we ready to move on to our
I
last?
think we are very ready to
All
move
right.
to the next.
Now for our best and final segment of this episode. I've handpicked one specific thing that I want to do.
Oh, so no whisper.
Yes.
Oh, all right. Interesting.
Lachlan has no idea what this is yet. So everybody is finding out, except for me, what we're about to do. All
Oh,
at
no.
once. Okay.
I'm scared.
So for our mystery segment, I have decided to, drumroll please, Reddit advice.
Oh no.
Stick with me on this.
Oh no.
So I've gone through and I picked out one good story because most of them were really weird. And we don't have time to do more than one because we're both going to give in our 2 cents and we still have to read the story. Okay?
The third episode where we've had a Reddit reference.
That's why I'm telling you we have to have Reddit. Okay. So this story that I have come up with, I didn't come up with this. One that I found is, and just a disclaimer, all of the advice that we're about to give, use at your own discretion.
Oh no.
Hopefully we give good advice if you're having a similar situation. Hopefully it's good advice for you, but we're gonna see how this goes.
What subreddit is this from?
r/advice.
Oh no. Okay.
Trust.
Trust.
All right. The headline is, I don't feel liked by my friends.
Oh.
Now this is going to be a little bit of our serious more segment, but our advice can be silly if we want it to be.
Huh?
This is going to be helpful. It's not that long. Hopefully
Okay.
I'll be able to read this well. I, 16 female, have a friend group consisting of 7 people, all girls, all my age or around that. I'm hanging out with 2 of them as I write this. Lately, I've been really depressed due to things within the group, specifically me feeling like I'm just slowly becoming distant with them. I also just don't feel like I'm a part of the group anymore. I'm bad with emotions, empathy, and stuff like reading the room. So, due to that, there can sometimes be issues. But also, due to that, I tell them to talk to me if I do anything bad, and they do. Still, it doesn't feel like it really resolves anything. I try my best not to do things they have issues with and come up with solutions. I fully understand why they feel the way they do sometimes. Now I have this one friend in the group who I'd say I'm closest with. We'll call her A. This isn't the only time, but in the past I've seen messages pop up on her phone from a group that I'm not in. I'm not saying I need to be a part of everything, but it just felt off to me. I have seen messages pop up on various occasions, and today I saw it again. With her somewhere else and me knowing the password to her phone, I took a look. Oh no.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. There's your first mistake.
Yeah.
I know this is bad to snoop, but I just needed to know. The first thing I see is message between A and my other friend B saying, "You guys going to hang out with my name today?" Which, just before coming here, me and B talked about how I kept saying something that made A uncomfortable last time we hung out. And I told her I understand and talked a little. Anyway, I went to that group chat they have. It has everyone plus my ex except me and another friend. She's not the closest with everyone in the group, so that's probably why. Now seeing a group like this without me already makes me feel worse and more depressed. But then I searched up messages with my name in them.
Oh no.
I only got to see one from a month or so ago before she came back, where A complained about me getting on her nerves, which I understand because I used to always joke about her weight, but I talked to her about it and don't make those jokes much anymore. I hate this sudden depression. I hate these feelings, but I can't help it. And I hate what's happening. I don't really have other friends, or at least ones I'm super close with aside from them. I know the people at my school suck, so I can't just make other friends. I'd really like any advice anyone can throw at me.
Huh. Well,
What's
there's a lot to unpack.
There's a
there.
lot to unpack here. That's a lot of information.
Yeah.
I would like to apologize for my reading skills. Sometimes my eyes jump around a little bit.
Mm.
Okay, first off, I want to say any friend group that is larger than 3, maybe 4 people is not gonna last.
Oh no.
I can
second that.
I can guarantee you that.
I second that.
And especially if it's all girls, that's an accident waiting to happen, and it clearly has.
No.
So this original poster, we'll call them OP for now, said that they're bad with emotions, empathy, and stuff like reading the room. Okay, understandable. I do that sometimes too.
I was thinking, I was like, when you started it off, I was like, did you write this?
I was like, who wrote this? Was it me? Did I do this in my sleep? Yeah, that can be tough. I do think that it was not a good idea to snoop into this person's phone. It's not okay to make jokes about people's weight. I'll say that. I guess my best advice is just to be open with yourself first and kind of just learn how to be okay with yourself, because that's really the best thing that you can do in these types of situations. But with that, these kind of seem like terrible friends anyway. Personally, that's just my 2 cents. So I wouldn't really want to be friends with them, especially if there's like a backdoor group text that you're not a part. Again, I know that you said that you don't have to be part of everything, which I totally understand. But still, it feels a bit like a slap in the face sometimes whenever you're like, I don't know, especially if a lot of the topics are about you and it includes your ex. That sucks. But yeah, it can be tough. And I mean, you're young, you're 16, and if they're all around your age, people are going to be stupid, especially girls that age. But I'd say try not to let it eat at you too much. And the only thing that you can control is yourself. You can't control other people. So my advice would just be to, 1, learn how to be okay with yourself so you don't become over-reliant on the approval of other people and the validation that other people can give you whenever you do something good. Try to make new friends, but don't make new friends with the idea that you have to be absolutely perfect. Just be authentic with them and yourself, and the people who stick around are probably going to be the best people to hang out with. But that's me. Lachlan, do you have any?
Yes, I do.
All right.
So, if I was in this position, I would go to my local nuclear physicist.
Oh, good lord.
And go into Mr. Sox's office, where I would find his dead corpse and Gilbert standing over him with the tiny little AK-47 in his hands. And I would request that little Gilbert help me with my little predicament. And in return, I will give him whatever he wants. He doesn't know that I'm not reliable, but he's a leaf man, so his IQ's not all the way up there. He doesn't have the neurons.
He's a leaf man.
He doesn't have the neurons to understand what an actual agreement is.
Yeah.
So all he knows is gun and nuke. So
yeah, pretty much.
So I hire him to come to this, what I would assume is a coffee shop that I was hanging out with my friends. He would be in my pocket during this time. Okay? And instead of me opening my phone, what I would get him to do is I would get him to take my friend's phone, go inside, see all the different numbers in there, and I would add myself to this group chat. Because I'm pretty sure that's a new feature, assuming that they all have iPhones. There's a new feature you can add people to a chat without it making a new chat. So I add myself to this chat, and they don't know. I put my name as like anonymous or whatever, so people think it's just like a joke or whatever. Regardless, if they all have my contact information, it'll come up as my name anyway. So I'd have to hack into each and every one of their phones, including my ex's phone.
Or Gilbert.
Gilbert can do all of that. Gilbert he's like you said, he's telepathic in some fashion. he can do all of this with like in his own brain. Okay.
Yeah.
He makes my name anonymous. All right. And they don't know that it's me, but they spill all this tea without me ever even needing to check my phone. And then once I have all the information I need, I go up to them. All right, I contract Gilbert. He kidnaps them in the middle of the night, including my ex and everyone in this chat who was involved with this. These backstabbers.
Holy crap.
That I strapped them to a nuke
that
he found that Gilbert has from this physicist. And they wake up. All right, I actually I have this ability where I can make people forget things, so they forget where they were. All right, and so they
forget where you were as well.
That's besides the point. So they wake up on this nuke completely unaware that anything else has happened. Just like, what? And I come over on the intercom, and I'm just like, enjoy your trip to the sun, backstabbers, and push the button. And then they go sailing off. I wave with Gilbert on my hand. All right, he waves with me. And they have just enough time to reflect before they pass through Earth's atmosphere. They know what they did. And they're seeing the consequences for their actions now. All right, and then they hit the sun. That later becomes green. Wow. We shouldn't give advice.
No, I think you should give advice. My advice was pretty good. I mean, the audience could be the judge.
Your advice was good, but I think mine was just a little better. You know,
Sure.
I think it would really get the message to sink in.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds. It sounds.
It definitely sounds.
Well, that about wraps up our episode for today.
It sure does.
Let's end it on a good high note, with the funny advice.
Funny advice.
To the poster of that. I hope that everything ends up working itself out. Take my advice. Don't take my advice. You probably haven't even heard any of this advice, but that's totally okay. Thank you for joining the Hypothetically podcast. This is Positively Perky Paisley.
And legendary Limitless Lachlan.
And we'll hypothetically see you in the next episode.
Peace.
Toodles.